Attention all Helldivers, we've got drama to discuss. Let's start the video with a fun fact. The railgun is the best support weapon that everyone is talking about on YouTube, yet nobody seems to use it in the game. Instead, everyone uses autocannon and quasar cannon. Now let's talk about my favorite stratagem that doesn't work half the time, the orbital RailCannon. What can I say? It's not activating consistently. Arrowhead, please fix it. Or maybe I should just get better, right? Maybe it's a skill issue, and I'm using it wrong. There's two. New update has problems. Before, the orbital RailCannon was always on point. Now half of the time it's missing the target.
Firing the orbital strike. Deploying sentry.
Requesting orbital strike!
Orbital strike incoming.
Calling in orbital strike! Requesting orbital strike! Calling in orbital strike! Calling in orbital strike!
Firing orbital strike.
I love these comments. You know what I love about the Helldivers 2 community? The moment someone points out an issue with the game, they come at you with pitchforks, telling you to report to the Ministry of Defense. They embrace the propaganda so much that they're practically brainwashed. Now here's the funny part. You're going to love this one. These are the same people who go after Arrowhead Studios or Sony because they need to create a PSN account. You guys crack me up, I swear. All right, let's dive into the details. So Helldivers 2 is seeing thousands of negative user reviews come in through Steam, just hours after players learned that linking to an active PSN account is mandatory. Publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment announced today that Helldivers 2 players on Steam will soon be required to link their in-game profiles to a PlayStation Network account or risk losing access to the game, a feature that was optional at launch due to technical issues. Sony explained that account linking allows players to take advantage of safety and security provided by PlayStation, as it can more easily protect folks from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. Many Steam players haven't responded well to the news. As of the time of writing, over 2,500 negative user reviews have been submitted to the game's storefront page today, blemishing an otherwise spotless, very positive rating. Some reviews cite data harvesting and security concerns as potential worries. Others point to the fact that Sony waited months after launch to make account linking mandatory. How this affects players in regions that don't have access to the PlayStation Network is a bigger concern, though. In the Helldivers 2 Discord, community manager Thomas Twinbeard Peterson said they aren't yet sure what these rule changes meant for players in areas without PSN access, which could be another factor contributing to the negative downturn. Now here's the funny part. Are you ready? People are using Egypt as an example where you can't have a PSN account. Have you ever wondered why? A simple Google search will show you that Egypt is not a very democratic country. The only way you can play Helldivers 2 in Egypt also on Steam is if you get a VPN, which is also illegal in the country. And you also give example of Belarus.
Что за нами постоянно кто-то ходит. Вы даже не представляете объем, что здесь творится.
It's worth noting that many Steam games force players to link to an external account. For instance, multiplayer pirate Venture Sea of Thieves asks players to link to an Xbox account, whether they're playing on PC or PS5, but the Helldivers 2 requirement coming months post-launch seems to have caught some players by surprise. Any live service game you play, they ask you to make an account on their own website or app. This is including EA, Ubisoft, and so on. So as I was finishing the video, the story kept evolving. So what happened? Ouch, right in the review score. Well, I guess it's warranted. Sorry everyone for how this all transpired. I hope we will make it up and regain the trust by providing a continued great game experience. I just want to make great games, said Helldivers 2 CEO. As far as the decision behind the policy goes, the game's community manager said on the game's official Discord server that it was a Sony decision, not Arrowhead. First of all, it's Sony's decision, not ours, he said. Secondly, we don't have all the details about region-related issues yet. We're chasing Sony to get more info. The new Helldivers 2 PlayStation account rules go into enforcement on May 6th for new players, while current players on Steam will have to have their accounts linked by June 6th. I don't think the game should be review bombed because of this issue. Just fix my orbital cannon strike, please. I truly feel bad for anyone who loses the ability to play the game due to a new policy. That's really unfortunate, but trust me when I say it won't happen. Arrowhead and Sony will find a solution for everyone. As for the other 99% of players, just go and create a PSN account. Nothing bad is going to happen. I've been on PSN since the early PS4 era and have never had any issues. But as it stands, all I see is a bunch of irrational rage online for nothing. It's not like you have to pay a fee to make that account. And I play crossplay with my brother. He's on PC, I'm on PS5, and we don't always have the smoothest experience. So I'm guessing that Sony wants all the accounts info coming from one server for a smoother experience in crossplay. The game won't go anywhere. It's still going to grow in popularity, and most people that are raging on this right now, they will come down and get back into the game. I've seen this kind of stuff before, and I see it almost every month in the gaming community. I also want to highlight another comment one guy said. Sony's whole handling of different regions needs reworking. It is insane to me, just from a marketing perspective, that a developer can tweet a link to their game, and the link is region-specific. It can't redirect you to the appropriate store or a holding page if the game isn't out in your region. Madness. They will be losing sales because of this. Devs also need to submit their game multiple times, once for each region. Again, seems like madness to me, increasing the workload for devs for no real gain, just because of how their infrastructure is set up. It's no secret that PSN needs an overhaul. I hope these kind of flaws are eventually ironed out. End quote. Another one said, yep, and same for PS Plus subscriptions, or the inability to change countries several times, as Steam lets you do. Terrible service options and rules compared to Steam, Xbox, or even Nintendo. Oh man. Where should I start? The only reason it's shocking to you that a developer shares a link and you find its region locked is because you haven't considered the bigger picture. If you did a bit of research, you'd learn that countries make it difficult for companies to operate seamlessly. Developers must submit their content to each country separately because that's what the specific country laws require. If you've made it this far, you might already be commenting, Sony fanboy, Sony is paying you to say this stuff. Relax, I'm not being paid. These are facts I know. But wait, there's more. So the second comment says how horrible the PSN service is and how everything with PS Plus is so complicated. I'm starting to wonder if some of these comments are even legitimate. Let me disclose something about myself to prove a point. Since the PS4 days, I've traveled around the world with my PS4 and later with my PS5. I've been to Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Eastern Europe, Mexico, the Netherlands, and other European countries. I've stayed in each country for months, playing my PlayStation online and offline. So, I don't know where people are coming from because I've never had an issue. I've never had a problem downloading a free game from PS Plus or purchasing one. And if I were to encounter this problem, I wouldn't blame Sony. I would blame the country's stupid laws, and trust me, I encountered a few. In the end, everything will be fine. 99% of people can take 2 minutes out of their day to create a PSN account. Admit it. You did it for Activision and Ubisoft, and I'm sure you have an Xbox account. Heck, I have an Xbox account and I don't even own an Xbox. And as for the small minority of people who can't have a PSN account, but the game can be played legally in their country, I'm sure there will be a solution. Alrighty then, it's time to brace myself for the comments on this topic. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Let's spread some positivity and truth together, and avoid falling into this rage-baiting stuff. This is Daniel, and I'll catch you in the next one.